So is it working?
You're recording right now, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
See you. Thank you.
Okay, so this is my Folios page. I'm Kayla Miles. This is just my cover page and just a little brief description about me, about how I'm in the second year B.Ed elementary program, and a little bit about my qualities, which I think believe that I'll be a good teacher just because I'm just a patient, optimistic, hardworking, accepting person. Blah, blah, blah. And this is my introductory video, which I can show you.
My name is Kayla Miles. I grew up in Victoria and am now currently a second-year student in the Bachelor of Education elementary program at UVic. My passions include exercising, music, and travel. After high school, I traveled extensively.
High school graduations.
It was in Australia when I was working as a live-in nanny that I realized I wanted to become a teacher. Incorporating my passion for nature and taking care of the environment will be an essential value I will instill in my class. I will encourage kids to remain positive even when facing difficult situations. I look forward to learning a lot at UVic and the many different learning techniques and engaging in classroom and attending to the various learning needs of each child. I am looking forward to pursuing a career that will be a lifelong challenge and reward.
Music is really loud.
So what was your, I'm going to interrupt you just for a quick second
Yeah,
before you
totally.
keep going. So what was your sort of technology base when you walked into this? Like, was doing that video challenging, new? Is the portfolio experience obviously is new, but what about the technology piece? I want to know sort of where you started so we can talk about where you go.
No, I haven't had very much experience with technology at all. Like, I'd never made a video on YouTube or used iMovie or anything like that before. I've only really had social media and stuff like that. So it was a huge learning curve, and this was one of our first assignments. So it was daunting for sure for me.
Was it one of the first things that you would have uploaded then as an artifact?
Mm-hmm.
One of your first artifacts?
Yeah, this was one of the first things that we did as a class. Yeah.
So I'll let you carry on and give me an overview because you started with the intro, and then I want to come back to that so we can talk about sort of the then and the now. I'd like to see what that progression looks like.
For sure. Okay, and then I think the second thing that I did was the professional artifact. Why is it doing that? What the heck? I gotta go back here. Sorry. So this was my first professional artifact was my experience in Australia nannying, and that's kind of where I realized that I wanted to become a teacher, and then I felt that it was a sense of I had a lot of reward helping the kids out, and I became very close with all the family and was involved a little bit with the school and bringing them to and from the school and stuff. Then I just liked the general atmosphere. It was in a rural community, which was also kind of cool. And then I put in my letter of introduction here and uploaded that as like a PDF file to do that. And then I just wrote a little bit about the connections to the BC standards.
So what connection do you mean? Do you mean the portfolio connections to the standards, or what's the reference point for that connection?
So I wrote
how your artifacts connect, how portfolios connect.
Just like the artifacts are connecting, like the the care and commitment one, my interest in acting in the best interest of the child and with the nannying.
Okay, so you've got examples of those types of qualities in a portfolio.
Exactly, yeah, like just tying them together, how they connect. Yeah.
How was that easy to do? Was it difficult to do? How was the sort of experience of creating artifacts? Was it?
I think I didn't have a lot of experience other than like babysitting and nannying at the beginning of the term, so I didn't really have much in the way of teaching. So I found it a little bit challenging to connect it. at the beginning. But now that I've done lesson plans and things like that, it's a little bit, it kind of is more relevant
Okay.
to me. Yeah. And then,
So that's probably a good segue to sort of talk about your growth then. So you started the portfolio when? Is this a September?
this was in September, yes.
Okay. So you've had 3 months
Yeah.
essentially to do that.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest growth that you can see, either in yourself or that you can actually visibly see on the portfolio?
I think, yeah, like it's the whole, I think this whole experience has been a challenge, like just learning how to write a lesson plan, learning about all these different expectations that we have to do. And I know like Tim has really pushed us in the way of, challenging us to just throwing us into classrooms, throwing us into situations and just getting the experience. So for me, it's like, wow, this is like real and it's happening, and it's like all of a sudden I have to do it. And I'm not a very good public speaker either, and that's also been a challenge as well. And it's been a really good challenge. It's something that I want to keep working
Which is
towards.
an amazing reflection. Have you found a way to take that and reflect it in the portfolio?
That's a good question. I feel like I probably need to do a little bit more work on this, like just in my reflections, I think, because I've just been so busy, like putting a lot of effort into my lesson plans that I haven't. I mean, I have to an extent, but I don't think I've put in enough like time in just writing exactly how I feel about it into this. But I do think this e-portfolio is a really good tool just to showcase what I have done. But I probably need to put in a little bit more.
Okay. So from that
effort.
first project to where you are now, what's the growth in there? Is it just the actual skills in technology, or what do you see?
So I obviously have learned a lot about technology and I've never used this folios before, and it is definitely a little bit like difficult to work with compared to other things. So that's been something, but also just like I said, like a personal challenge of just how do I be a teacher? Like how do I act in that way?
So do you think others can see that in the portfolio? And if I were to be able to take some time to really look at it, do you sort of feel like that's representing your progress?
I think so. Like I'm pretty proud of this page that I did. This is my lesson plans for English.
What was the age level for that?
So this was a lesson I did for grade 4 to 5 class.
Okay.
That was my first one. So here you're able to just pop it out so you can just see how it just displays exactly like, so I've done my rationale, blah, 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 learning standards, extensions that I could use, and then I have the lesson plan, the lesson development, like the intro.
So there's lots of detail.
Yeah, so I've just gone into that, which I like, having it there, like rather than just having it in paper is kind of nice. You can just have it.
So it looks like you have a nice snapshot, but then you have the option of really getting down to some detail if you need it, or if somebody else did it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is another one I did for a grade 1 classroom, which was also kind of challenging myself, like doing a grade 4 to 5, and then being like, okay, well, I should try a younger grade. So just kind of like figuring out intuitively what a grade 1 class would enjoy doing. That was 4 lessons in that one, and then this was my last one on the rainbow fish, and then again I just had to talk about a little bit about the BC standards.
So if you had to pick one artifact that best represents you, or that you would be most proud of, what would it be and why?
That's good. Let me see here.
Because a lot of the times, when you have this type of depth of portfolio, it's amazing, but sometimes people don't get to see more than just a little snapshot.
Yeah.
So what snapshot do you want them to see?
It's hard to say.
It is hard. Isn't it?
Yeah, because I feel like there's a few that I was proud of. Maybe I'll show you this one. I did a paper about First Nations influences in music education, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's cool.
And I did well on it, and I put a lot of thought into it. And I just thought it was kind of interesting just try, because I know like now the new curriculum is trying to incorporate First Nations material, which I think is really awesome, and just the importance of that, and it's kind of just an exciting time for us as educators to bring it in. So yeah, just, and I think it's going to be difficult, obviously, trying to find the resources for that, and also like thinking about the respect that we would have to kind of make a connection with someone from the community or something. But yeah, just trying to sort of broaden up the perspective. Yeah. So I don't know. That's something that I might try.
That's good. You'd want to highlight it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'll just ask you one last question.
Sure.
I think we're goes by really quickly.
Yes.
And I'm asking in variations. I think everybody, because I'm really interested in the practical side of things, and I know that you guys still have time. I still, have like a few years of doing all of this stuff. But
Yeah.
let's say you were popped into a classroom after Christmas, and you had to start teaching, and you had a group of kids in front of you. Is this something that you would want to use in your teaching?
The
E-portfolios.
E-portfolios. Like teaching it to kids using this,
I
or
don't
just
know. What purpose do you see outside of doing it at UVic for you? Can you see it as a teacher? Would you use it for yourself as a teacher? Would you use it with the kids? Can you see a purpose outside of this building and outside of this context?
That's a good question. I don't know if I would get kids to be using this specific like platform and making their own website. I don't know. I find it a little bit challenging.
How
But
about the
maybe-
idea behind it? How about the idea of taking, like you said, you said it showcases who you are and the things that you've done. So if it were maybe a more user-friendly format,
Yeah.
would you want to in the
Then I
classroom, or do you
think-
think it's too cumbersome? Like, what are your thoughts on that for actual students in the classroom?
Yeah, I think it would be useful in that sense if it was a little bit more simplistic, a little bit easier to. Well, I don't know.
It's okay, and it's all right if you don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I'm not looking for an answer. I'm sort of just thinking. When
Yeah.
you guys are requiring a lot of skills, and you sort of always think about, okay, could I use this again?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious about whether you feel you could, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's just
I think it would be useful for me personally to use it, just to have everything laid out, and maybe for interviews and stuff, if I put a little bit more, like a bit more effort into it, because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and it's not really like the layout isn't really my style of how I'd want it, but
So it seems
Yeah.
as though I'm getting from you that it's a work in progress.
It is, yes.
You'd like to see it be a little bit better, and you'd like to be adding on to it.
yes, yeah, exactly, because I think it could be very practical and useful for
For you
me
as a
as a professional. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
not sure about the kid side, like the student side
There's still
of
time to think
it.
about that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time and
Yeah,
for
no
sharing.
worries. No worries. Thank you for your time. Oh, I need to. That's fine. Sorry, I forgot. Of course.
For Lexi, you're sitting through all of it.